Hey, it's Coach Z. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on out there? How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Hi. The reason I'm coming on here is because I wanted to do something different today. Besides telling you how to do, exercises and stuff like that. But I wanted to come in here and read a book to you guys because I think that reading is super duper duper duperty important. Because basically you read every day from the moment you get up. A lot of times you're reading stuff. You might be reading a text, you might be reading an email, you might be reading a story, you might be reading a meme that you see that makes you laugh. You do a lot of reading every day, and I think that reading is super duper duperty important because I believe reading, and I feel that reading is exercise for your brain. When we run, we play games in the gym, we exercise our body, keep our body strong and healthy. I feel that reading is a necessary exercise to keep your brain healthy. And so, I believe that reading is super duper important. I know I've talked about it probably in the past in some of my classes, and I know some of you probably listen to me, and some of you kind of zone me out, and that's fine too. But I love to read a lot. Whenever I get a chance. It's been kind of crazy lately, but and when I say, well, but coach, don't you read your texts and emails? Yeah, I do that. But I'm talking about like reading for fun, okay? Even if you read for fun, it's still reading. So it still counts. If you read comic books, if you read a book about Fortnite you might like, if you read, uh, just different things like you might find around the house. It's still reading, okay? Any kind of reading, if it's fun, if it's for homework, doesn't matter. It's still reading, and reading is super duper important. Now, if you don't know this about me, and like I said before, I love to read, and I think it really hit me in ninth grade when I really kind of caught a reading bug. Okay, not a physical bug, but kind of like where I just started reading so many books. I remember the book actually that started me reading, and it was a fantasy novel. And when I say fantasy novel, those are books that are kind of based upon, just fictional worlds, like that might involve dragons and wizards and barbarians and different things like that. But I remember the book, and the book was called Spellfire. And I found it in a supermarket, and I thought the front of the book is a little paperback book. I thought the book looked really cool because it had a big old giant skeleton dragon on it. And so I remember taking it home and started reading it, and it just sank its claws into me, and just it held on, and I could not put that book down, and I read it so fast. And I noticed that there were other books in the series too, and I just started reading those there, and that's pretty much where I came to I just love to read. And I don't just normally read a lot of fiction. I do like to read a lot of nonfiction. I love history books. Books that talk about the history, whether it be, history of Texas, the history of the Alamo. I love reading about World War II. Just something about World War II, the stories that came out of it, just really fascinates me. But I love to read I love reading history books. I love reading history about, the Wild Wild West, with people like Wyatt Earp, and Doc Holliday. You might see them in the movie, and those people really exist, but the books always tell a different story. And so I love reading those kind of books, and I love reading. And if you look here, I'll show you here. I have my own little Kindle, okay, that I have books on that I like to read sometimes. I also have my iPad here. This is my iPad. And if you look on here, it's kind of hard to see them though. But I have a whole bunch of comic books on here that I like to read. And all these comics here these are all The Walking Dead. So I like The Walking Dead. I know you always hear Coach talk about zombies sometimes, and not in a scary way, but in a funny way. And I like to read The Walking Dead. Not necessarily the TV show. I know some of you heard about the TV show. I like to read the comic book too, because the comic book tells a different story. Similar, but different. So I have comic books on that one there. But today I'm going to read you a book. Now, I have not read this book yet. Okay, I've heard about this book, but this book is called The Book with No Pictures. No pictures, coach. Yeah, no pictures. Okay, it's called The Book with No Pictures. It's by B.J. Novak. Some of you have probably read this book already, and that's cool. Some of you probably have not read this book, and hey, guess what? We're going to read it together. Well, I'm going to read it to you. Okay, so let's take a look at this book here. Let's get to the first page here. And the first page says, "This is a book with no pictures." Interesting. It might seem like no fun to have someone read you a book with no pictures, right? Yeah. It probably seems boring and serious, except here is how books work. Everything the words say, the person reading the book has to say. Okay. No matter what. Uh-oh. That's the deal. That's the rule. So that means even if the words say blork, wait, what? That doesn't even mean anything. Or blurf, wait a second, what? This is the kind of book I wanted to read. And I have to say every word the book says? Uh-oh. I am a monkey who taught myself to read. Hey, I'm not a monkey. And now I am reading you this book with my monkey mouth in my monkey voice. That's not true. I am not a monkey. Yes, I am a monkey. Also, I am a robot monkey. What? And my head is made of blueberry pizza. Wait a second. Is this whole book a trick? Can I stop reading, please? No? Dang it. And now it's time for me to sing you my favorite song. A song? Do I really have to sing a glug, glug, glug? My face is a bug, and I eat ants for breakfast right off the rug. What? This book is ridiculous. Can I stop reading it? No? There are more pages? And I have to read the rest? My only friend in the worldwide world is a hippo named Boo Boo Butt. Boo Boo Butt? In the world? And also, this kid I'm reading this book to is the best kid ever in the history of the entire world. Oh, really? And this kid is the smartest kid too, because this kid chose this book even though it had no pictures. Because kids know this is the book that makes grown-ups have to say silly things. And make silly sounds like, oh no, here it comes. Gloomp, glock walkity, ma groomp a doo, blackety blackety glippity glippity gloppity glippity, beep boop, ee, I, brog dongy, brog praise, babooey face. That's so weird. Oh my goodness. Please don't ever make me read this book again. It is so silly. In fact, it is completely and utterly preposterous. Next time, please, 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 please choose a book with pictures. Please, because this is just too ridiculous to read. The end. Bonk. I didn't want to say that. So that is The Book with No Pictures. It is by B.J. Novak. If you don't know who B.J. Novak is, he is also an actor, and he acts in one of Coach C's favorite TV shows called The Office. So I like that show too a lot. So I hope you enjoyed me reading the book. I'm going to be trying to do these at least once a week. probably around like, I don't know, Wednesday is good to do and post it to YouTube. So if you could, please subscribe to my channel down there and hit the bell. If you hit that bell, you'll be alerted every time I post a new video. And so what I want to do in the future is also I want to have a little video too showing you where to go as far as the links to go for the lessons too for the week. So be looking out for that. I'm gonna try to work on that this week, and then probably possibly this weekend, and get that posted before the next week starts. So just be looking for some new content. I want to do at least one book a week where I read to your kids. I'll try to find some funny books and maybe a couple of series books, a couple of cool books there. But it's students, Botello students, and your parents know that it's very, very important to read. And I always talk about that all the time. Some of you in the upper grades have to eat. You've heard it from me so many times how is it super duper duper important to read. It's a lot of you want to be lawyers when you grow up, and if you're going to be a lawyer, guess what you're going to be doing? A lot of reading, right? You have to be doing a lot of reading. So if you do not like to read, might not be a good career choice for you because you will be reading a lot. Possibly not books, but stuff on the computer, stuff like that there. But like I said, I love to read. If you look behind me on my little bookshelf right there, those are a lot of the books that I've pretty much read ever since high school. And it's hard for me to get rid of a book that I've read and that I really, really enjoyed, because I almost feel like it becomes a part of me, that book. I almost feel like I went into that book. It's kind of what you do when you read. You kind of go into that story, and so it's hard for me to get rid of that book. So a lot of those books over there, a lot of them are fantasy novels. Also, a lot of them are there's some history books over there too. Some of my favorite history books. There's some Star Wars books over there too. So there was a lot of stories that came before we had the Phantom Menace, and where they continued the Star Wars. Where they did the prequels like that. Before they even thought about that, when they only had Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and everybody thought that was it. It was done. There was a lot of writers that wrote a lot of different stories about, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, Princess Leia, where they can kind of continue the stories, before. Then they went back and they made the movies, they made the prequels, and then they made the next three, the Force Awakens movies. So a lot of those books are over there. I definitely cannot get rid of those Star Wars books because, again, Star Wars is life for me. Love Star Wars so much. But super duper important to read. Please read. Please do your assigned reading that is assigned to your teachers. I know it can be tough. Keep your homeroom teachers happy. And keep me happy. And I hope the lesson that you had this week there, the lesson I put up this week was had to deal with Marvel, in the Avengers, a lot of Avengers, some cool music in the background and kind of moving, doing the little Thor hammer thing. I thought that was cool. I also put in there too that we used to do the Billy Banks Tybo thing in the gym. A couple of years back, we did that when Coach used to have bigger classes than he had before. Coach used to have anywhere from 3 to 4 classes at a time. And when we did that, we would kind of bring in and put a video on the wall. And we were doing that Tybo exercise that I assigned this week for you guys there. So remember on those assignments there, so you have Monday, Tuesday, you kind of recharge, rest, recharge, do your work. Wednesday, kind of hit it again. And then Thursday, kind of rest, recharge. And then Friday is kind of your free day. Kind of do whatever you want. You can do whatever you like, that you like from Monday and Wednesday, or you can do something different, that you might like to do on the house. Maybe go outside to the park. Even though a lot of the parks are closed, but maybe if you have a backyard, or if you have some place in your house you can kind of move around, do some stuff, or apartment. Just try to be active on Friday also before the weekend comes. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Like I said, I will be doing another reading video for you guys next week, and I'm going to be looking for an interesting and cool book to read for you guys there. So hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And like I said, keep an eye on the YouTube channel. Remember, I've been getting some pictures already coming in from parents of their kids doing cool things. You can send me any kind of email me any pictures. You can email from your phone too. Remember the email address is czamora at dallasisd.org. C Zamora. So my first initial on my first name, then Zamora, and then at dallasisd.com. No, .org. Sorry. And if you still can't figure that out, you can always go to the Botello website and you can look under faculty and you'll see my information there. So until next time, do your best, Botello Aztecs, and carry on!